To answer the question, is a law degree still a good investment, we have to look at the two elements that make up a good investment: the cost and the return. The cost for the individual student will vary wildly, and this will largely depend on how the student plans on paying for their degrees. But since getting into such a dependable industry as law is always going to be a good investment for those that have the means to get into it without debt, let's look at a more average caricature and assume a few things. Our future lawyer will be living off campus and working to pay those bills, will be going to a state school to get their undergraduate degree, will be going to a law school ranked between 60 and 40 on the US News grad school list, as well as have the ambition and of an economic situation that would cover about 50% of the cost of the undergraduate degree and 25% of the law degree. Lastly, they will be financing the difference in the cost of their education at an average interest rate of 6%. On the cost side, we have the average price for a year at public university at $9,139. Multiplied by 4 is $36,556. Using the analysis found at greatfinancialsense.com, we find that the average cost of a law degree ranked between 60 and 40 to be $188,500. Slice the undergrad degree in half, take 25% off the law degree, and we have a total cost of $159,653. Quite a large sum of money. Our law student has now passed the bar and is a full-fledged lawyer. What are his or her job prospects? As reported by the NALP, firm size is the most important corollary for the salary of a first-year lawyer. In firms smaller than 25 lawyers, the starting salary averages at $68,000, while in firms greater than 251 lawyers, the average ranges between $125,000 and $160,000. Once again, we'll assume our lawyer is somewhere in the middle and starts their career at about $100,000 a year. If our lawyer remains on par with the other lawyers in the firm, he or she can expect an average annual wage increase of about $5,000. So at the end of 10 years, he or she can expect to be making $150,000 a year. This all has to do with managing the accrued debt. In all likelihood, there will be multiple loans that need to be paid off. But for simplicity's sake, let's assume that it's one loan at an interest rate of 6%. According to the loan calculator on CalcX, if our lawyer had a loan of $159,653 at an interest rate of 6% and paid $1,200 a month to it, it would take 18.3 years to pay off with a whopping $103,632 in interest. That brings our grand total cost to $263,285, and making our lawyer 43 years old when the last student loan payment is made. If we had a car, a house, a spouse, kids, and a timeshare, we can easily imagine that maybe a minimum payment would be made and the life of the loan would be extended and therefore the cost increased. Clearly, becoming a lawyer is an expensive proposition. If you're just an average Joe or Jane trying to make a cold cost calculation, I would say absolutely not. There are many fields, including computer science, electrical engineering, and nursing, that cost far less in time and money to get the training for and are only at a slight disadvantage in terms of salary. Much like anything, there will always be outliers. Lawyers can start their own firm or make partner, engineers can start multi-million-dollar businesses, or nurses can become nurse practitioners. But I know people personally who have graduated from community college with a computer engineering degree and make just shy of 6 figures after 5 years in the field, which would be about the time our lawyer graduated law school and would be making about the same or less. Yet obviously there is more to the field of law than an investment analysis. Maybe you were inspired by Atticus Finch's defense of Tom Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird. Perhaps you wanted to defend civil liberties at the ACLU, or fight against the corruption of corporations and governments. Those obviously can supersede any fear about loans, which are about as boring as they are important. If the place you want to work does not have the salary to service your debts, it's not gonna be a good time. So after my research, here's the advice I would give to an aspiring lawyer. Apply to all the merit-based, need-based, and demographic scholarships you can find. Keep the cost as low as you can. It will save vast sums of money in interest alone. When applying to law schools, think about costs first. Your salary is probably not going to be $200,000 a year, so don't plan on it. As with all things in life, people are going to respond to you personally, and as law school fades further back in your mirror, it will become less relevant where you're from and more relevant what you've done. If possible, find a law practice that is in demand. Intellectual property or work in the medical field have above average wages. Don't give up, but know when to change strategies.